When a person gets out of jail and prison, what happens is that they meet with the probation officer within 3 days, here in Virginia at least, and then they're set some goals, and usually they're onerous and they are highly restrictive. One of them is not only somewhat highly restrictive, but also entirely necessary, and that's getting a job. But the probation officers aren't always that helpful. In fact, most are not. Well, one suggestion that was made to me is I could go into private business again, opening my own business, my own company, which of course sounds easier than it actually is. And usually suggested by people who've never done it. So one of the reasons, one of the ways that, that people quickly get into their own business is to do something like Lyft or related type of personal services. But many of those are not allowed. You can't Uber or Lyft by law if you are considered to be a sex offender. You can't do a number of personal services. So what are you left doing? You can go and get a certificate if the school will allow you to do it and if you can be employed in that area. Someone recently told me that they had applied to be a real estate agent, real estate again being another self-employed activity, and they went through all the pain and aggravation and the many hours of classroom time to do that, only to find out that they weren't employable. Similarly, somebody tried doing it to be a peer educator, and that too, substance abuse counselor, that too was closed off to them as an option. So folks, if you think it's easy, it isn't. If you think it's something that they can do at the drop of a hat, it isn't. And imagine how devastating it is if you were convicted of a crime that you didn't even attempt to commit. And I know that the trolls are out there screaming that that can't possibly be true, but it is. And that is as devastating as anything you can imagine in somebody's life.